Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We go to the mean streets of Culver City, California for an episode of Night Watch with reporter Donn Reid. This episode, originally broadcast on July 10th, 1954.
Six in service, starting mileage 6,587, 6587. Officers Perkins and Good.
Check 5-6, 6:09 p.m., starting night watch.
This is Donn Reid, a police recorder working with us detective unit, just reporting in service on the night watch. You're going to ride with us tonight. Just where, your guess is as good as mine. But just remember one thing. The people you hear are not actors. This is it. This is real. This is Night Watch.
Night Watch, the actual on-the-scene report of your police force in action. There are no actors, there is no script. Every voice, every sound is authentic. The investigations are recorded as they actually occur. Night Watch, presented with the cooperation of the Police Department of Culver City, California. W.N. Hildebrand, Chief. We switch you now to car 5-6 on patrol and your police recorder, Donn Reid.
Control 1 to all units. All units in the vicinity and car 5-2 at 8700 Maple. That's 8700 Maple. A 211 just occurred. Ambulance follow. 5-2, your call code 3. 5-6, your call code 2. 6:14 p.m.
5-6-10-4.
We're rolling on a 211. That's a holdup. Ambulance has been dispatched. That indicates that someone has been shot or injured. In a matter of seconds, we'll be on the scene. No way of telling what we're going into. The uniform car will be coming in from the north. We're swinging in from the south. Traffic is light tonight. Gives us an opportunity to check the incoming cars. Just an outside chance, but there's always the possibility to observe a fast-moving car which might be connected with a holdup. One more block to go. It's the liquor store on the corner. We're wheeling into the curb. Heading into the store. The motor officer just rolled up. Bill Hurd. Man lying on the counter. Blood flowing from a head wound. Broken bottles. Smell of beer and whiskey.
We got an ambulance coming. Is that you, Ryan?
I don't know if you got that. Victim has been hit over the head with a hammer.
But Dad, I wouldn't let him go. See, I had to fight him. He finally ran out. He went up Culver Boulevard running.
By himself?
Yeah, man about 45, sort of grayish-brown hair, and sort of blue clothes, blue suit on, light blue, and very extremely nervous. He ran up the street.
Light blue suit?
Yeah.
Glasses or a hat or anything?
No, nothing.
Which way? By himself, what kind of a gun?
No gun. He hit me. I turned my back, and he hit me over there with a hammer. He was going to hit me again, and I started fighting him and wrestled him.
That's not your hammer. How tall is he?
He's about 5'10".
5'10"? Gray brown hair. 5'10", how much he weigh?
He weighed about 160 or 70.
Okay, which way did he go, north?
He went right up this way.
Man, about 45 years of age.
In car?
On foot. On foot. Perkins is putting it out on the air right now.
5 years of age.
Motor officer is taking off to cover the area. Suspect is possibly on foot. District uniform car coming in.
What direction they go?
He went east on Culver running by himself, one man, white male American, 45 years, gray-brown hair, light blue suit, 5'10", 160 pounds.
We have the hammer in here. It's not a armed robbery. It's 211 slugging.
Over to our car to radio information.
5-6 to all units. The description on this 211 slugging. Male white American, 45 years of age, wearing a light blue suit. Gray-brown hair.
While the sergeant's sending that description out over the air to our other units in the field, let's get back into the liquor store here and check out the man who has been injured. Cameron of the district uniform car talking with the victim.
Anything around here? He touched the register and wiped everything he touched, except the hammer. I wouldn't let it go. And he says, I want your money. I haven't got any. He says, I want it. So to pacify him, I said, well, let's get it on the register. And I kept holding on to the hammer, and so did he. So we came over this far, and he says, open the register. I said, oh, no, I'm not letting go of this. So I said, press the blue button. So he pressed the blue button, and the register opened. He grabbed whatever was in there, and he grabbed. So with his other hand, he started wiping it out with a handkerchief, and I was getting kind of weak from the blow. So I started shouting to him, "Get out of here! Get out of here!" So finally he got scared and he ran out. I ran out, sort of dizzy like, and I said, "I better call a car." So I did, and that was it.
And you'll know him again when you see him?
Oh, yes. I saw him before. He's been around here, I'm sure.
Been around here, sir?
Yes, he's been around here. Because, you see, I recognized, I said hello, and he says, I said, can I help you? He says, oh.
How much money did you get?
He must have taken about 10, 15, 20... He took about $30.
Anything on your person?
No, he couldn't even touch me. I was holding on to the hammer. It's the minute since he hit me.
Oh, you're holding on to the ice.
See, what happened was, he asked me to get the beer, and I, like a fool, turned my back and started reaching for the thing. I just knew it was coming, and pow! He hit me with everything. I fell to the floor, and I was surprised I woke up. So I turn around, and there he is. He leaps down on top of me and starts swinging. I grabbed his arm, then I grabbed the hammer, and we started going around. We smashed the beer. I kicked him. So we both wrestled over here, and he asked me how to open this, and that was it. Then I scared him by saying, you better get out of here before someone comes in. And he left. But I still held on the hammer.
Think his prints will be on there, Sergeant?
I don't think so, Don. It's a pretty rough hammer. It's a little ball-peen hammer. He got hit over the head. The blunt end of it. We'll take it out and try it anyway for prints.
Well, let's hope. That sounds like the ambulance right now. Let's hope there are prints on that. Sounds like them rolling in now. Here they are. Here comes the ambulance rolling in. Two attendants coming in the store with a first aid kit.
Lucky he didn't kill me. He had every
examining the wound.
chance to hit me as hard as he wanted to. Is it all right?
Oh, he does.
Is it? Oh, swell. And
Lieutenant Machado is over here now to take charge.
I'll talk to you later.
Sergeant Perkins is bringing him up to date.
I said this. Lieutenant Olson, we notified that... Not as yet. The fellow that got hit here said that this man wiped all of his fingerprints off of everything he touched in here except for the hammer.
Yes.
The hammer's on down at the station.
Right.
And we can preserve that down there for Lieutenant Olson.
Right. Well, we'll get a teletype out.
Right.
See if
He got about, what was it?
Said $30.
$30 in cash.
$30 in cash.
Yeah.
All right. Has Lieutenant Conlon been notified yet?
Not yet.
I'll notify Lieutenant
Okay.
Conlon.
Fine.
Right.
Right on. We'll handle it from here and let the card make the rest of the report.
Let's get back to the car. We have the weapon with us. Hammer used by the suspect to slug his victim. It's tied to a string so as not to smudge any of the prints. So, let's get back to police headquarters and the Fingerprint Bureau. Here at the station, Sergeant Perkins is getting out an APB, an all-points bulletin on the suspect. Meanwhile, we're heading for the Fingerprint Bureau. See if there's anything turned up on the weapon yet. Lieutenant Olson and Officer Cameron are kneeling down on the floor, dusting the hammer. Let's see if they've done any good. Hi, Lieutenant.
Hello, Don. How are you?
Swell.
Good.
Any chance of any prints?
Well, I believe we'll have some partial prints here at least.
Golly, that looks like a good one up high.
Well, all that depends on what we can find when we left it. Stuff of getting it off of wood isn't too satisfactory, but it's a pretty good finish on this handle. It's practically new.
I noticed that that's a black powder you're putting on there. What type of powder is that, Lieutenant?
Well, it's specially prepared fingerprint powder made out of lamp black. You get a lot of different things in it. Rosin, anything that makes it adhere to the fluid.
It takes on a sort of a grayish color now. Will you photograph? I noticed there's several little smudges coming out here and there. Will you photograph that, and the result will be a fingerprint?
That's right. Then, of course, we lift it and preserve it in that manner. We take it off of the article.
Well, so far we had the suspect down to a local. The victim was a holdup. It says that he's seen the victim at least 3 times in the last 6 months. In the area? In the area and in the store. All connections with him have been in the store.
The victim, Don, has he gone home or is he back at work?
He's been taken to the hospital, Lieutenant.
The hammer certainly has prints on it. We'll have to check them against the victim. If he was wrestling for this hammer, his prints may be the ones that come out good on here. However, we'll be able to tell as soon as we get the victim's prints.
Yeah.
This string that was tied on that hammer to pick it up and to bring it in here was one of the smartest things that the investigating officer could do. Ordinarily, you see, or at least in fiction, the detective will pick an article up that they're bringing into the eye bureau, into the crime lab. You'll pick it up in a handkerchief or a piece of paper, and that definitely ruins, or stands a good chance of ruining the print. But the way this was prepared, tying a string around so that it would balance, and he carried it in, not having touched it at all, I'm satisfied that I have the prints of either the suspect or the victim, because they wrestle for that hammer.
Well, all I can say is the bulk of it, I hope, is our boy.
That's right.
I hope so. Well, I want to head on down, so thanks a million, Lieutenant.
Okay.
See you later. Bye. Let's get back to Sergeant Perkins' office, see what's doing.
Check up the marijuana? Yeah, we'll take a run over there. I know where the address is. Okay, I'll leave a report on your desk. Okay, right.
Hi.
Hi, Don. Well, we've done about all we can on that 211. Lieutenant Collins just called and gave us another assignment.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, he got a report back from a crime lab about some leaves found in a man's jacket. Seems it turned out to be marijuana.
You are listening to Night Watch and following the activities of a detective unit on its tour of duty. The people and sounds you are hearing are real, and the investigations are recorded in the field as they actually occur. We'll bring you the final results of tonight's action at the conclusion of Night Watch.
July 7th, 1954, Night Watch on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now back to the mean streets of Culver City, California. Reporter Donn Reid on the Night Watch, July 10th, 1954.
In a moment, we'll be at the location where we are to interrogate the owner of a small dry cleaning establishment. Now, this is the information we have to go on. A man entered this store last week and left a jacket to be cleaned. An unusual type leaf was found in the pocket, which aroused the suspicion of the store proprietor. Of course, this was only a supposition on the owner's part until he notified the Detective Bureau, and the samples were sent to the crime lab for analysis. Results? The leaves found were definitely marijuana. Well, here we are. Our job now, locate the owner of the jacket in which the narcotics were found. Inside the store.
I'm Sergeant Perkins. Identification. You have some information.
Now, as to any further identification of who, what, or where, we're going to have to leave that part unsaid.
Phone call. So, they found a loafer jacket in the pocket.
It was in the pocket. We sent it down to the Los Angeles County Crime Lab, and there was sufficient leaf on these twigs to show that it was marijuana. When we run across stems, it indicates usually one of two things. Either that the person that has the stems has access to the plant itself growing someplace, or that he has had sufficient quantity that he has refined or used the leaf
and didn't bother to get rid of the stem. They don't smoke the stem, they use the leaf of the seed. Usually indicates a pretty big deal. It's not just an average run-of-the-mill marijuana smoker. Now, whether or not the boy is smoking it or pushing it or has access to it, that's something we've got to find out. We have run into some narcotics locally, which some young people are involved in, and it may tie into it.
Well, if I can help in a way, I will.
All right, Swell. Thanks a million.
We appreciate your cooperation. We know where you work, so we're going to go over there and have a little talk with him. Thanks very much. Good night.
This fellow works around here somewhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, he works at the gas station right around the corner down here.
Yeah.
We'll swing around and back and see if this car is there. If it is, then we'll go in and talk to him.
Yeah.
This is it right over here.
Yeah. See, is that the license number?
Yeah, that's his car back there. Let's go check the car down. It's behind the building there. He can't see us.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get out. Have the suspect's car here in behind this building. Now they begin to shake the car down and see if we can find anything that may indicate use of marijuana. Working now in the back seat.
3 seeds. 4 seeds.
Marijuana seeds?
Yeah. Right along the crack of the door here, see them?
Let's see.
See right here? There's one there.
Yeah.
There's one there.
Yeah. That means he's been blasting here in the car, doesn't it?
That's right. Look. See, there's one here and one here. There's 2 more there, right at the crack of the door.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take these 2 for evidence. We're going to leave these 2 in here.
Right.
So when we get the boy, we're going to show him that we found some seeds in the car.
Right.
Got it?
Check.
Okay. Let's go around and have a little talk with this fellow.
Right.
A cat.
What is that?
It's a cat.
Is that what it is?
He knows we're coming now, anyway.
Boy, gosh, it jumped like I was shot. I'll get around the building here now. Service station directly ahead. Let's move across the lot now to where the suspect is working.
You the fellow that owns the car out there in back?
Yeah.
We're police officers. Step inside. We want to talk to you.
Moving into the building. Suspect appears rather nervous. Short, heavy build, hands covered with grease. He's wiping them off on a rag, reaching for a cigarette.
Ready? Black sedan. You driving it tonight?
Huh?
You the one that drives it?
Huh?
No one else drives it, huh? See those 2 little seeds?
Yeah.
They came out of your car tonight. There's more of them still in the car. That's marijuana. Do you want to start telling us about it, or shall we tell you what we know?
Well, sir, I haven't had anything to do with it.
You haven't?
I used to run around with fellas that have, but I haven't myself. Because I haven't gotten in any trouble at all.
I'm not saying you got in trouble. I'm telling you, you had narcotics. You use them. You blast.
Oh, sir.
Found these marijuana twigs in your coat pocket. These marijuana seeds in your car. There's more of them in there. I have to take you over and show them in your car. What about it?
Well, sir, those don't belong to me.
Where'd they come from?
Well, I don't know. There might have been somebody got in my car or something.
There might have been. But there wasn't. You take that car of yours and turn it over to the state. Impound it on the narcotics violation. The state will seize it.
Well, sir, those seeds, I haven't the faintest idea how they've been in there. I used to do that, but it's been about 4 or 5 months since I have.
When's the last time you blasted?
About then.
What made you stop?
I just have decided that it's not doing me any good at all.
Where do you get your stuff from? Who?
Well, when I used to do it, we used to just go down to Mexico and get it.
Whereabouts in Mexico?
Tijuana.
Who's we?
Oh, me and anybody else that could go.
Blast in your car?
We did it a couple of times.
Front or back seat?
In the front seat, I guess.
Well, we found seats in the front and back.
Well, I don't know how they got in the back seat then.
Well, you're in a spot right now. Well, when you go down to Mexico and get this stuff, what kind of stuff you get? Get it with twigs in it?
July 10th, 1954, Night Watch on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Night Watch, July 10th, 1954.
What do you pay for it?
$15 or so.
How many roaches did you make of stuff you buy?
I don't know.
I don't believe you. You say the last time you blasted. Those seeds there are too fresh for that.
When somebody else had dropped them in my car.
But don't you think it's a little unusual for us to, if you haven't blasted in the last 3 or 4 months, that all of a sudden we get an investigation on it? We start going. We find marijuana in your car, marijuana in your jacket pocket.
Well, sir, I don't know why they would anybody would investigate me. I mean...
Do you know why you're being investigated? Because you're using narcotics. Happens to be against the law.
I was, sir. I'm not anymore.
How often did you blast?
Just on weekends, usually.
How many did you blast at a time?
A couple.
You know, the state of California will seize any car in which narcotics have been transported in. Because all they need is one little seed. We just brought 2 in to show it to you. We go back and probably get about 30 or 40 out of that car by the time we get through. That's a lot of cigarettes, a lot of roaches.
Sir, I'll admit it.
You're going to be booked on a possession charge. Possession of narcotics. Get your coat on. Let's go on down to the station.
Here at police headquarters, the officers are busy making out reports, so let's go on into the detention room. Talk for a moment with the young suspect that was picked up a short while ago. Glancing through the bars, his father is talking with him. Apparently they're through. They're just getting up. Let's go on in. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your arrest. Would you like to discuss it?
Yes, I would.
Let's come right to the point. Why did you start smoking marijuana?
Well, I think it just, sometimes you feel, there's not much to do, and it doesn't seem to do much for you, and I don't know, I guess it was just something to do.
Mm-hmm. How does smoking one of these marijuana cigarettes affect you?
Well, it just kind of shuts things out from you, so it just has sort of a deadening effect. It doesn't, things aren't as sharp or as clear as they usually are.
Did you try to use this as a means of escape from everyday problems?
Well, I don't think that was the reason I started. I guess I got running around with the wrong friends, and it was just everybody seemed like that was doing it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I want to talk with your father for a moment. Sir, in just a few moments, this young fellow will be transferred down to Juvenile Hall, where he'll be held pending court action. How do you think he got started smoking marijuana?
Curiosity, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And if curiosity was what led youngsters in the teenage group to try marijuana, why doesn't that same curiosity take them to Juvenile Hall to see some of the results? I just hope maybe they'll try that rather than the marijuana.
Thanks very much.
What you have just heard is real, recorded as it actually occurred on The Night Watch. And now back to police headquarters and Chief W.N. Hildebrand.
The suspect in the robbery and assault case tonight is still at large. Our Detective Bureau is continuing the search, and every police department has been alerted to watch for a suspect answering his description. When this suspect is taken into custody, he will be charged with 211 Penal Code, the penalty of which is not less than 5 years. In the final case, where a young man was charged with violation of the State Narcotics Act. The subject was booked on Section 11502 of the Health and Safety Code. Even more important than the arrest of this suspect was his personal realization that further contact with marijuana could lead to his possible addiction of an even more dangerous narcotic such as heroin and ruin his entire life. Night watch is the result of many grueling hours of work and exposure to considerable danger to take you to the scene of action. But we are doing so for a purpose. You are hearing for the first time the decisions and problems your law enforcement officers must face in the field. If we succeed in bringing this message to just a few, then we are accomplishing our purpose in presenting Night Watch.
Thank you, Chief Hildebrand. You have just heard on-the-scene reports of your police force in action. Every voice, every sound has been real. Night Watch is brought to you through the cooperation of the Police Department of Culver City, California, and is produced by Sterling Tracy and Jim Hedlock, with technical advice by Sergeant Ron Perkins, and is described in the field by police recorder Donn Reid.
July 10th, 1954, Night Watch on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Part 2 of the yours truly Johnny Dollar story, The Shady Lane Matter, July 10th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Ready with your call to Hartford, Mr. Dollar.
Thanks, operator.
Go ahead, Hartford.
Hello? Johnny?
Yeah, Pete.
A big fat expense account, and you still reverse the call.
Had to. I'm phoning from a Crossroads store. Look, I need a quick fact or two in connection with the Ellen Bates murder. That $10,000 policy on Ellen's life. When was it written, Pete?
Oh, around 4 years ago. I'll get the exact date if you want to hang on.
No, that's close enough. I was hoping it was only a year or two back.
Knocks a pet theory in the head, huh?
No, but it doesn't help it any. Hey, is there also a policy on the life of Ben Bates?
Yeah, same amount, taken out at the same time, right after they were married. Add up to anything?
A nice round zero.
What do the local authorities think?
The only local authority in Shady Lane is sitting outside in the car right now, and he thinks the same as I do.
Which is what?
We're both stumped. I'll be talking to you.
Tonight, and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Shady Lane, Vermont, to the Home Office, Star Mutual Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, The Shady Lane Matter. Expense account continued. Item 4, 7 cents, a copy of the Shady Lane Weekly Crier, the paper that prints the folksy news, according to the masthead. Maybe it would help, because the whole case seemed to have a folksy flavor. A young farm wife named Ellen Bates, a semi-invalid without a known enemy in the township, had been shot to death a month before. The killer, unidentified. Motive, unknown. Physical evidence, non-existent. Leads, none. I rejoined Constable Jed Bramler in the car and glanced over the paper as we drove onto the Bates farm. I'd begun to realize that, folksy or not, the Bates case was probably going to be tougher than an old boot.
We'll leave the car here at the road and walk up through the draw. I'll show you how it happened.
All right, good. This sure doesn't look like very good farmland.
Tain't. Ben's got a few good acres north of the house, but most of it's like this. Won't grow much of anything except in rocks. Takes a lot of scratching to make a go of a place like this.
Yeah, I imagine. And it would be even tougher if you had to take care of an invalid wife at the same time.
Yeah, I reckon it would. Watch yourself on that barbed wire, Mr. Dollar.
All right.
There's easier ways of getting to the house, but I figured you'd like to see how the killer got away.
And this is it, you think, huh? He fired the shot from cover and then...
Oh, she did.
All right, whichever. And then he or she ran back down this draw here and got away.
Yeah, must have been seen otherwise. But here in the draw, a person would be out of sight from both houses. Either the Bates place or the Preeney's over on the other side.
I'll buy that one, all right. This brush is thick enough to hide a herd of cattle.
Yeah, well, once the killer got to the road, Back where we left the car, might have gone any place.
Yeah, that's the trouble. This case is too full of mites.
Tried to pick up a trail in here. Even brought in dogs. But they didn't turn up nothing. Dogs is mostly overrated anyhow.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah, let's see now. Ought to be right about here some... yes, there we are. Over that way.
Uh-huh, yeah. Yeah, I see the stake you put up to mark the place.
Nope, wasn't me that put it up. It's a survey marker. But it's just about where I calculate the shot was fired from. Right about here.
What was the survey for, Mr. Bramler?
Highway Department. They was figuring to build a new turnpike through here last year. Fell through, though.
How come?
The whys of a public bureau ain't for mere man to know, Mr. Dollar. They finally picked someplace else a few months ago. Shame, too. Might have made this land worth something to Ben.
Another one of those mites, huh?
Now, look through the bushes there, just to the left of that big maple.
Mm-hmm.
That's the parlor corner of the Bates house. And Ellen was sitting right there in that big front window when it happened. Ben has put the glass back in since.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't have been too difficult a shot from here.
Them old-fashioned squirrel rifles is mighty accurate.
And nearly everybody in the township has one.
That's about it.
It's not a matter of finding a needle in a straw stack. It's finding one special straw in a straw stack.
Mighty hard chore, I'd say.
So would I. So there she sat, an easy target, alone at her own front window.
Well, not exactly alone, Mr. Dollar.
Oh?
Alone at the window, yes. But Mrs. Preeny was in the room with her at the time.
The woman who wrote the anonymous letter accusing Ben Bates? I didn't know that.
Yeah, didn't seem to have no bearing. She just happened to be there. Brought over a cake or something from next door. She was always doing things like that for Ellen.
Uh-huh.
But Mrs. Preeny didn't see who fired the shot. She just heard the window glass crash and saw Ellen come half out of her chair and then fall on the floor.
An invalid, helpless, sitting there at a window. Now, what the devil could a woman like that do to make somebody hate her enough to kill her?
Mr. Dollar, if I could answer that, I would have somebody locked up by now.
If anybody did hate her, of course.
Meaning?
Maybe hate wasn't the reason.
Got a better one?
Oh, I'm just supposing.
Done quite a bit of that myself.
Hey, tell me something, Mr. Bramler. This waitress at the Shady Lane Cafe, the one Mrs. Preeny made the insinuations about.
Millie Wells?
Yeah, Millie Wells. Is she pretty?
Well, hard to say. Tastes differ. I reckon, though, most anybody'd call her pretty, though.
Well, what about that gossip Mrs. Preeny was spouting? Is it just a rumor? Or was Ben seeing Millie before his wife was murdered?
Hard not to see her. Ain't a very big town.
You know what I mean. Did he go out of his way to see her?
Oh, stopped in the cafe there once in a while. Cup of coffee, piece of pie. Doing all the cooking at home like he was. He got a mite tired of it, I reckon.
What about now? Is he still seeing her?
Eats most of his evening meals there.
Is that all it amounts to?
Well, folks generally agree that there's some interest building up since his wife's death.
Well, what about his wife? Did she have any chance at all of getting well?
Nope, not according to the doctors.
I see.
Mr. Dollar.
Yeah?
You are barking up that same wrong tree again.
Oh, it kind of adds up.
Figures lie sometimes.
Pretty girl, young and alive, interested maybe. An invalid wife, rundown farm, a $10,000 insurance policy.
All facts, true enough.
He wouldn't be the first man who went wrong with a setup like that.
Not Ben. I told you before, murder just ain't in his nature. Oh, come on. Let's walk on up to the house and talk to him.
Wait a minute, one other thing. That anonymous letter Mrs. Preeny sent us. Now, why would she go out of her way to get Ben Bates in trouble?
Hard to say.
I thought she was a friend of the Bates.
Of Mrs. Bates, yes. Ellen. But for some reason, she never has seemed to like Ben very much. I don't know why she done it, Mr. Dollar, but I sure wouldn't put no stock in what she said. It's just her nature. That's all it is.
It was late afternoon. Long shadows were beginning to stretch out over the flinty ground. Almost the same time of day that Ellen Bates was killed. Killed by her husband, I was beginning to believe. And yet Constable Jed Bramler swore by Ben, his longtime friend. Human ties, human emotions, just plain folks. And a case that was growing messier and more vague by the hour. Not much sign of life.
Well, Ben's in and out. You never know.
Sounds like somebody coming around the house.
Mm-hmm. Must have been working out in the barn. Always plenty to do on a Flint Rock farm.
You come looking for me, Constable.
How are you, Grody? I said, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm just fine.
Been around?
I've been working out back, fixing to spread it.
Yeah, that's fine, Grody. Is Ben here?
Ben? No. No, Mr. Ben's not here.
Know where he is?
No, he's not here.
Any idea when he'll be back?
No. No, he didn't say. You can go in and sit, though, if you want, Constable.
Maybe we will. Grody, this is Mr. Dollar. Grody Hawkins.
How are you, Grody?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just fine.
Grody does odd jobs for Ben. Some of the other farmers, too.
Oh, I see. Were you working here the day Mrs. Bates was killed?
That's a lie. I wasn't even near here that day, and anybody that says I was is a liar.
Oh?
I was crew over on the other side of town.
We'll go inside and wait, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah, all right. See you, Grody.
Kind of gets excited when he figures he's being accused of something.
Yeah. He seems scared of you. Has he been in trouble before?
Well, petty stuff, like shooting game out of season.
Is he a good shot?
Dead shot. Never misses. Fact.
We waited in the parlor for a while. The room where Ellen Bates had died. Her picture was still over the mantel. A clear-eyed, sober woman, much younger than I'd imagined. The sun gradually set and the light on the picture grew dim, but Ben didn't come back. We gave up finally and drove back to town. I left Bramler at his office and walked down the street to the Shady Lane Cafe to eat dinner.
I'll be right with you, sir.
No hurry.
You'll be cooler if you sit there by the window.
Oh, fine. Thanks. There were a half a dozen tables in the place, all empty. I was the only customer. The girl was pretty and friendly and fitted the description of Millie Wells.
The pot roast is awfully good this evening. I think you'll like it.
All right. You've made a sale.
You're a stranger in town, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm investigating the murder of Ellen Bates.
I see.
Are you by any chance Millie Wells?
Yes.
Then I guess you're the person I'm looking for.
You worked very fast. I thought it would take longer.
Hmm?
Oh, I knew you'd find out, of course, sooner or later, but I was hoping Ben and I would have a little time together first.
I see.
We were fools to expect it, though. Once you've been tagged, you don't have a chance.
Did Ellen Bates have a chance?
I didn't give her the slightest cause to worry. I didn't let Ben know once how I felt. Not until after she'd been killed.
That was very considerate of you.
And I know he didn't give me one thought as long as she was alive. It's not in his nature.
So I've heard.
Doesn't it mean anything at all when a person has been acquitted?
Acquitted? Acquitted of what?
Of murder. What else? Isn't that what... Oh. I thought you knew. I thought that's what you...
I guess maybe you'd better tell me about it, Millie.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a sudden twist and a cool threat. A strange revelation. And the lies come thick and fast. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
From July 10th, 1956, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day here. Would you thank this station and support their advertisers? It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. And if you miss a day here, you don't have to miss a single show. Our shows are always available through our webpage, classicradio.stream. You can stream shows there, learn more about classic radio collecting. You can also buy me a copy if you want to. You can find all the links to all of our social media sites, and you can contact me there, classicradio.stream. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the radio dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.